I'm psychotic, so take this with a grain of salt. I'm very spiritual, and this started before the psychosis. Honestly, in those times, it was the only thing keeping me going. Since I can remember, I knew I had a promise to keep. There was someone I had to find, no matter what. Even little, I had trouble forming attachments, so I didn't have anyone I was close to besides my mom. I clung to this person I didn't know, and I thought of them every night. I wasn't even interested in any gender or romance at this point. I just had this deep well of devotion I didn't know the source of. If I concentrated, I could feel them, always reaching out, like they were screaming, "I need." Started reaching back, concentrating on my own energy, towards them. And then the dream started. The brown-haired boy. A boy my age who looks like my husband. In the first dream, he was naked in the snow. I gave him my jacket, held his hand, and we walked together. He was often naked, and I unfortunately know why now. The reason we weren't able to meet sooner. He always needed help in the dreams. Comfort, guidance. I became increasingly protective. I felt like he needed me. I had to find him. I had promised. I knew in my heart I had promised him. In one dream, he was drunk and I put him to bed. I saw his back and it ingrained itself into my memory. We were both far too young for alcohol, but more than likely he was high. I couldn't tell the difference. Another dream became a how-to instruction on his panic attacks. Don't touch, stay near, but a safe distance away. He'll want you when it's over. Low stimulation. Don't talk at him too much. Just guard and don't let anyone come near him. Don't look at him if he cries. Just hold him when you can. In another one, I had written, "What's your name?" on a piece of paper and hidden it under my pillow, hoping for an answer. In that dream, dozens of meetings flashed by, different people meeting for the first time, one always recognizing the other. Meeting my husband was much the same. I didn't get an answer, but written on a piece of paper in the dream read, "This is why I love you." I woke up with tears in my eyes. There were countless others. I always had nightmares. Really bloody, twisted, horrible nightmares. These dreams were my only reprieve, and I cherished them with my whole heart. I don't think I had any pleasant dreams that weren't about him. I dreamt about him for a little over 6 years, and then I met him when I was 18. He was a friend of a friend of a friend, meeting up at a McDonald's to go downtown together. I fell immediately, and I fell hard. I knew him. He knew me. We spent a while trying to figure out how we knew each other, but came up short. I kept calling him a completely different name by accident when I thought I remembered. He was nothing like I imagined. To be frank, he was a man whore. He plucked cherries like he worked on an orchard. He was very experienced. More experienced than anyone his age should have been. He was energetic and excitable and practically vibrated with nervous energy. He made friends easily and got attached to people way too quickly, while still being aloof and cat-like. He always wanted my attention when I was around and kept trying to impress me and making an endearing fool out of himself in the process. And I was totally taken by him. We both learned very quickly that I could read him like an open book. His feelings stabbed me like knives. I knew if he was sad, anxious, happy, angry, upset, stressed, because I felt it too. It wasn't my own, but I also felt it. I used this to give him outs when he needed breaks, to comfort him when he wasn't well, to give him anything he needed. I lost my virginity to him 2 years later, and he had the same distinctive marks on his back. He's also the only one I've ever been attracted to. I had one boyfriend before him, and I cried and apologized to my mystery person who couldn't hear me, but I was lonely, but I wasn't attracted to him. I loved him, but I didn't even know what attraction was. I still had the dreams when my boy was away, always running, never in one place, but they were him now. The boy had a face and name. I still felt his pull. I need. We dated on and off for the next 10 years. It was a very bumpy road. His anxiety only got worse with time, and life jaded him even more. I was always there when he needed me, just a text away. We were never on bad terms. He was just a kid and was convinced he wasn't good enough for me, so I waited. I didn't want anyone else if it wasn't him. I had told him that, once, when he had come back to me again after a bad relationship left him in pretty bad shape, both physically and mentally. He was so thin it looked dangerous. He had new medical problems. He always looked miserable and exhausted, and he had a lot of new baggage. He eventually moved away to another state. He came back to visit family on his third year out of state and decided to move back when he saw me again. We moved in together, and that's that. I spoil him. I can't help it. He's just so cute. He's getting needier over the years. He still never asks me for anything unless he has to, too shy to ask for help, but not too shy to be an absolute pervert. So I just offer, all the time, anything and everything. Or I just do. He showers me in affection and attention, so I am living. Most importantly, he's patient with me when my head goes funny. No one's ever been this good to me. It's so nice. We've been living together for 3 years now, and the less than pretty parts just make me want to hold and love him even more. His attacks are far more frequent than they used to be, and he has sensory meltdowns that I didn't know about. Sometimes he gets really listless and tired for a while, or suddenly gets clingier. He's really moody at times and it frustrates him. He doesn't get sick often, but when he does, it's bad, and he can't sleep at all unless I stay up all night, myself, to keep him asleep, which I always do. He drinks too much if I let him. I'm making sure it doesn't go too far. I want to protect him. I want to coddle and spoil him. I want to keep him safe, like I promised, so I have to be stern too. Make sure he eats right, that he goes to his doctor's appointments, that he showers. I got him to stop smoking cigarettes. He's honestly a lot to care for, but so am I, and I love doing it. He's gotten so much healthier. I keep feeding him, and he keeps getting bigger, but I can't keep fat on him at all. It's just muscle. On anyone else, I'd find it scary, but he just looks so soft to me. I'm doing a good job caring for him, I think. I hope so. So yeah, I still feel him. He says it's like I can read his mind. I can't. It really comes in handy, because speaking up is hard for him when he needs something. He's absolutely shameless, until it comes to asking for help, so I'm glad I always seem to know what he needs. Anyway, I rambled on, but honestly, I just always want to talk about him. He's just so special to me. Fate and the spirits themselves brought me to him at the earliest possible time. My life honestly hasn't been great, but I can't help but feel like the luckiest person alive. I found him, my person, my literal dream guy. He's my purpose, he's my everything. I'll die before I let him go.
And that's the story of how my guy got ridiculously lucky and ended up with the most devoted, slightly yandere girlfriend he could have ever asked for. I mean, come on, dreams, fate, and a lifetime of waiting just for him? Bro hit the jackpot, and he knows it. If you've got your own yandere love story or just think my guy's lucky as heck, drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more stories about us. Until next time, remember, when you find your person, hold on tight and never let go. Bye, loves.